Good morning, everyone. My name is Jennifer Reed, and I'm the director of BSU Senior College. Welcome to our fall 2024 faculty showcase session. Thank you for joining us today. I'm seeing about 30 of us here on the Zoom call today, and hi to all of you that might be watching this later on our YouTube channel where it will be posted very soon. So I'm going to briefly go over our plan for the day and then, or for this session, I should say, and then we will jump right in. We do have this scheduled from 10 to 11:30. So I realize that's a long time to be on a Zoom call. So feel free to know that it will be posted on YouTube tomorrow. So if you have to step away, I won't be offended at all. And if you can join us for the whole session, then welcome, and we're glad to see you as always. So first, I wanted to let you know, I will provide a short overview of Senior College. I know a lot of you here in this call today are already familiar with Senior College, but to anyone that's new, I wanted to give you a little bit of background about how it all works. And then we will jump right in to the faculty showcase. And so what I've asked of the faculty is for them to briefly, emphasis on briefly, introduce themselves, give you the one sentence of who they are. And then I will ask them to tell you one thing that you can hope to learn in their course, or that our members can learn in your course this semester. So I know that's a big ask because a lot of you want to give the whole overview of your outline and all the various topics that will be covered. But unfortunately, we don't have time for that. So you have to give one teaser of something that our members can expect to learn in your course. And to those of you that are teaching, 5 courses, those folks will remain nameless at the moment, but you'll have to just do the best you can to explain that you teach a bunch of courses for us. And what I'll say is if someone's teaching a lot of courses with Senior College, that means they're really popular with our members because they wouldn't be teaching 5 courses unless they were popular. Also, if someone is if you see them coming back from semester to semester to semester, that also means they're very popular with our members. So that's a big clue. We have lots of returning instructors who are just sort of the core of our curriculum. And then, of course, we always have new and different courses as well. So I wanted to just give a quick hello to my colleague, Kara Marks. A lot of you know that she came on board a few months ago, full time.
Hi. So the speaker on the left.
Oops, just make sure you stay on mute while we're talking if you could. You're welcome to put questions in the chat as we go along. And then I will remind faculty that are here just to, I think I have a couple notes from folks that want to go sooner rather than later. I have Jim as someone, Jim K, who is going to go sooner rather than later, but put in the chat if you're a faculty member who needs to leave sooner than later. Just put it in the public chat so that I can see it. If you put it in the private chat, it's harder for me to see. Okay. So Senior College is a lifelong learning program geared towards older adults. We don't really specify an age for our members, but we generally say that it's for folks over 55, but we don't check your license when you want to join. Anyone's welcome, but most of our members are in their 60s, 70s, and 80s. We do offer free lifetime memberships to anyone 90 and older. So if you know of anyone in that demographic, please ask them to reach out to Kara or myself so that they can claim their lifetime membership. And if you could also know that, what was I going to say? Tangent.
Just your speaker is not working. Please check your.
Kara, can you just make sure you keep Barbara on mute?
The host muted.
Oops, sorry about that. Actually, this brings up a good plug. We are having a Zoom session coming up. Kara maybe could put the details for that in our chat. We're doing a session on Zoom about Zoom and how to Zoom and all the great features that Zoom has and how to really use it effectively in your classes. So we'll put that in the chat, and you can attend that if you're interested and wanting to know how to, do all the things that you need to do to be effectively part of a Zoom space. So we're a dynamic lifelong learning program. We are offered enrichment education. It's learning for learning's sake. There's no tests, there's no quizzes, there's no writing papers. There is none of that. So it really is truly learning for the sake of learning. And if any of your instructors give you a pop quiz, you let me know right away. But I don't think they will. Some of the instructors will certainly offer you resources and reading, and if you're signing up for a course that is a reading course, then you would want to do that reading to enhance your experience in the class. But no one will check, and you don't have to do anything that you don't want to do outside of your classes. You can also participate regardless of your educational background. You don't need a college degree. You don't need any previous formal educational experience. You don't need to be an alumni of Bridgewater. Anyone can participate in senior college. So there's no prerequisites at all. We offer courses like this here on Zoom. This semester, we have our biggest semester yet. We started in the fall of 2019. And this semester, we have 60 courses, and 27 of them are offered in person. And our in-person locations span the southeastern Massachusetts region, with courses taking place at the Bridgewater Public Library, Bridgewater Senior Center, Bridgewater State University campus. And then we have courses with our partners in Easton at their Frothingham Hall, Plymouth at the Center for Active Living, and we have our new site, Hingham, at their Center for Active Living. So we're really excited to have that new partnership with Hingham that's just starting this semester. Of course, we have lots of courses on Zoom, and we know that Zoom is incredible value to our members. And the nice thing is it allows people to participate that don't necessarily even live in this region, although most of our members are sort of from Southeastern Mass in some way. The benefits of your membership is that you get access to a members only website, and that will give you a number of different resources, and it will sort of guide how you participate in senior college. Some of those benefits are, we have something called a video on demand library. So a lot of our Zoom classes are recorded, and you can watch them later at your a time that works for you. And this is helpful. So if you have two classes that you want to take at the same time, or maybe they're overlapping, you can certainly watch one later. Or if something comes up in your schedule and you unexpectedly have to miss a class, you can do that as well. And so that's only for members. We also offer scholarships. So anyone that has a financial need, can just email Kara Marks and let her know that they would like to claim a membership. And that's thanks to the university allowing us to do that. And we always are appreciative of all the scholarships that we are able to give away. So feel free to reach out. You don't need to provide any proof of income or anything. You just need to say that you would like one, and we give one to you. And how do you register? Oh, other benefits include access to the campus community, and we'll go into more detail about that, when you become a member, but you can get a parking pass, a student ID, you can get access to our beautiful Maxwell Library, which includes a free electronic subscription to the New York Times, etc. It does require a little bit of work on your behalf to use your official Bridgewater State University email and password, but you don't need to use it if you don't want to use it. So we always communicate with all of our members through their personal email, but you will have access if you want to use our official email as well. And I think that's all I have for the overview, the other piece that I will always ask is if you could help us spread the word. So for those of you that are returning members, you know the drill. You've heard me say this 1,000 times, but our marketing budget is like a big goose egg, sort of. We're working on that, and we really do rely on all of you to spread the word. So we just ask if you could just tell at least one person that about your experience, reach out to a friend and tell them about a great class that you're taking, or someone that you've met in senior college, or something you learned. I think that would be really helpful for folks to hear. And also we have brochures. So for those of you that are local and you want brochures to leave at your local library or senior center or other places, just reach out to Kara and she's happy to give them to you, or arrange drop off, or bring them out to the parking lot and you can swing by. You don't even have to come in the building. She's so great. She'll set that up for you. So without further ado, let's get into the showcase. I think we have a lot of faculty here, so we have, I think we'll have a nice conversation with all of them. And just a reminder to the faculty that you have like 3-ish minutes. So just briefly introduce yourself, maybe one thing that people can expect to learn in your course. And of course, the one thing, I wanted to show, because some of the instructors are teaching multiple courses. So the best thing would be if you all had the handy dandy quick glance schedule available on our website or via email. The version on the website is slightly different because it's an accessible version, but this is the version that we can certainly email to you, and it just is a one-stop place where it lists all the courses, when they start, the dates and times, etc. So we won't spend a lot of time today giving you that information verbally, because I think it's easier if you just download this from our website, or certainly Kara could email it to you if you don't already have it. So with that, I will or first up we'll have James Kirkcaldy, and then after James we'll have Dr. Scoble. So James, you can go ahead and introduce yourself now. Welcome, it's great to see you. Oh, I think you're still on mute. Jim, you're still on mute. There you go.
Good. Jim Kirkcaldy, and I'm teaching at all 5 locations. And over the last few years, I've been doing a chronological art appreciation classes, starting with the Renaissance. And a new one this year is the contemporary one. You don't have to take them chronologically in order, although that, I guess, helps somewhat. But what I hope you'll receive from this is just to have a chance to discuss art with other people. And also, going to a museum will never be the same again. Okay. The other course, and I'm very excited about this, is called Cold War Jitters. And I'm excited about it because it's in Hingham. And I spent 48 years of my career in Hingham, so it's fun to go back there. And it's not strictly a history of the Cold War. The focus really is on the psychology of the Cold War. Now, each side saw perceptions of each other, Soviet Union and the United States, which obviously often led to complications and misunderstandings. Big focus there will be on the culture, the music, the movies, and that type of thing. And what you'll get out of that, I think, is not just an understanding of the Cold War, but as some people say, history doesn't repeat itself, but it rhymes. And so what extent can we see some of the same things going on today that happened during the Cold War? So once again, you can see the schedule and you'll know exactly what my time and so forth. And thank you very much. I'm all done.
Thank you so much, Jim. It was great to see you.
Good seeing you.
Kara will help respond to some of the questions in the chat, but I'm not sure, Ellen, on that question, the specific location. But again, Jim's teaching a lot of classes, so you need to look at the quick glance and see all the different courses that he's teaching.
They're different times. They're different times, so that's why it's important.
Different times, yep. So definitely refer to the quick glance schedule for that, and Kara can even post the link to it from our website in the chat too. So thank you, Jim. Good to see you.
Thank you.
You have to run away. Have a
Thanks,
good.
thanks for all you do, by the way, Kara. Jen.
Thank you. All right, Dr. Scoble, and then we'll do Ray after you. Welcome. Good to see you.
Thanks, Dr. Reed. So I'm Ian Scoble, a professor in the philosophy department at Bridgewater State. I often teach courses in ancient Greek philosophy, but long before I became a philosophy professor, I was interested in ancient Greek civilization generally. And so this is a new class I've worked up, which gives me a chance to get into many aspects of ancient Greek civilization. So we'll be talking about Greek mythology, Greek history, Greek politics, Greek archaeology, a little bit of art, drama, and of course, philosophy thrown in there as well. So it's sort of an overview of the way that these things all tie together, because in many cases, there's interactions between what was going on historically and what was happening in literature or philosophy. And so it's interesting to see how these things all tie together sometimes. So that's what this course is all about. It's going to be Monday mornings in person at the Bridgewater Public Library.
Dr. Scoble, thank you so much. It's great to have you back. You've been with us since the very beginning. I remember the first time we met at the Bridgewater Public Library, you walked in and I said, do you need anything like technology? And you had with you, he had a single sticky note. And he goes, no, I have this. And I was like, that's an experienced lecturer, faculty member. I aspire to be like that in my ability to deliver a lecture on things that you have expertise on. So we're thrilled to have you back. And
Happy to be back.
Yeah, thank you. Good to see you. And again, to faculty, you're welcome to scoot out after you're done. There's no obligation for you to stay for the duration of today's event. We know that you're all busy. Okay, so if there's any other faculty that need to scoot out, just let me know in the chat, in the public chat. But up next, we'll have Ray, and then we'll hand it over to Richard after Ray.
Thanks, Jennifer. Ray Jenian. I've been teaching in the courses for 4 years. I guess this is the 4th or 5th year. And I really enjoyed. By the way, Professor Scoble's course sounds interesting. I may take it myself. Teaching 2 courses this fall, one on the Constitution in Bridgewater and the other on the presidents in Easton. The one on the Constitution, I'm really excited about because I think it's something that it's really important that we all know something, why the Constitution was written, how it was written, how it was approved, and how it has worked over the last couple centuries within our country, because it's always controversial. So I'm excited about teaching that. It's a basic course on the Constitution, nothing in depth, and obviously questions will be welcome. The other course is simply a history of the presidential elections. We are obviously going through an election that's going to be somewhat controversial, and I'm just trying to point out there have been many in the past that have been similar controversies. So that's it. One's again the Constitution courses in Bridgewater, and the presidential courses in Easton. So thanks.
Thanks so much, Ray. Good to see you. We're thrilled that you're always willing to be so engaged with us, and you're extremely popular in-person faculty of Senior College, and I'm grateful that you're back. And I know people will really enjoy your courses, so thank you. Okay, so up next we have Richard Brabander, and this is your first semester in Senior College, so we're really curious to hear more about you and your course. And after you, Richard, we'll have Ron up after you.
Hello and greetings. I'm so glad to be a first-timer in this program. I am a historian. I'm a part-time faculty member. I've been at Bridgewater since 2008. And I am a world historian, which is a little bit different than the standard historian. And so what interests me a lot about the moment we're living in, of course, is that we're on the precipice of having perhaps a woman president for the first time. And so one of the most understudied topics in history, particularly world history, is when have women risen beyond the gender stereotypes and social conformity and all the things that block women from access to power? When have they actually become rulers, particularly in their own name? And what can we learn from those moments in history? And also learn about the culture and the places where they rose to power. And so we'll be meeting on Zoom on 11 a.m. on Thursdays. And I will have multimedia presentations, sometimes showing clips from movies that cover these women, and talking about the history of the region, a little background. And the 5 women we have set up to look at as examples are Cleopatra, Empress Wu of China, Indira Gandhi, and Golda Meir. And for our final woman, I'm going to open it up to my students to help us to choose which woman to pick. And I'm a big gamer myself, so I also like to use Poll Everywhere, which is a polling software. And we have a site license at Bridgewater, so I'm sure we can use it with our students. And we'll pick one from the list of women I've examined. So I look forward to perhaps meeting all of you. And thank you so much.
Oh, Richard, I am so excited. This course sounds amazing. You were such a good example of, I know we have so many incredible faculty on this campus, and it has taken us a little bit of time to get faculty like yourself to be engaged with senior college. So I am just so thrilled and grateful to you. I know how incredibly busy, we're a teaching intensive university, and I know you're very busy with the slate of courses that you teach here for our students, and just so appreciative that you agreed to teach this course, and would encourage all of our members to check it out. Sounds really great. And I love the interactive component and the also comparing it to, what might be happening here in our own political leadership soon. So that's great. And thank you and welcome. I appreciate your time today very much. Okay, now we have Ron Akhtar, and after Ron, I'll turn it over to Curtis. Ron, welcome. Good to see you.
Good to see everybody too. Yeah, so thank you very much, Jen. I appreciate again you and everybody as part of the Senior College for all the hard work you guys do. I really do appreciate it. So this is my 13th year here at BSU. I am not a full-time faculty. I am classified as a staff associate. I teach classes in the biology department and the labs. So I do ecology labs and intro bio labs for majors and non-majors. I'm a plant biologist by training, so anything plants, any questions on plants, I'm more than happy to talk about them or answer your questions. My courses tend to be a little more plant oriented, but so my two there in the fall, I have one on plants and society. So basically how our society changed going from a hunter-gatherer type society to more of an agrarian type society. And we'll talk about certain plants that even though there are cultures from around the world, whether it be South America, Asia, whatever, we're going to kind of talk about the similarities that each one of those cultures had and why that came about to be. And then the second course is called Winter Gardening. And that's more on some things that you can do to get ready for winter time with your gardens, things you can kind of keep going almost all winter. And then we're also going to talk about house plants. And one of the main ones we'll talk about is for those of you who want to have house plants and want to know what ones can I have that I can't kill, or at least which one are the hardest ones to kill, or that I can try and keep going for as long as I can. So those are the two courses in the fall, and to kind of give a quick heads up for the spring. I know it seems like a long ways away, but I also do an art course in the springtime. So there will be a couple other plant courses, but I also do an art course in the spring. And I see Ellen is here. She took my course, so that one actually is in person. All my other ones are via Zoom. I hope Ellen enjoyed the class. I think she did. Yeah, thank you. But yeah, so I'll be doing one of those also in the springtime, and that'll be here at BSU.
Ron, thank you so much for all of these great courses that you offer. At our event that we had, our member appreciation event in June, we had an art display from all the art courses that we offer. And so many people brought beautiful art that they did in your course, like canvas bags with nature prints on them and various other items. So I was so impressed, and people were really proud to share their art at that event. So I wanted to let you know that. That was wonderful. So it's great to see you, and thank you for all your engagement with Senior College over the years too. Okay, now I forgot who was up next. Did I say? Oh, Curtis. Thank you. Welcome, Dr. Hoffman. You have the floor.
Thank you. Yes, this is my second semester teaching in the Senior College. I'm professor emeritus in the anthropology department at BSU, where I've taught since 1978. I am also a ongoing longtime member of the International Association for the Study of Dreams, which has an annual conference every year. We have people from over 30 countries involved. And my focus in this course, What Does This Dream Mean?, which will be held on Tuesday early afternoons over at the Bridgewater Library. Is that correct? Yes, okay. Is on a movement that has gotten going over the last 20 years in group dream work, which means that if someone shares a dream, we work on it as a group to help the person come to a better understanding of what their dream might mean without attempting to impose our views on them. I've done group dream work of this sort for a long time. I see Jan is here. She's been a member of my dream group for a long time too. And this is designed to help people to come to a better understanding of both who they are and where they are within the larger environment or world in which we live. We spend a third of our lives asleep, and typically we dream about 5 times a night, though we don't always remember it. One of the peculiar aspects of being human, unlike any other animals that we know of, is that while many animals dream, we are the only ones who share our dreams. And so that is one of the things that we're going to be doing. So I welcome people here. I noticed a number of people from my class last semester in Myth and Culture are here. And I'm looking forward to seeing some of you again. And we will have some interesting dreams to share.
Curtis, thank you so much. I appreciate that we connected with one another and that this is your second course. So you're an old pro now at senior college, and we're thrilled to have you back.
Young pro.
Sorry, long pro, sorry.
Young pro.
Young pro.
Yes.
This course sounds fascinating. I know this is a topic of great interest to many people, including myself. So we're very excited to have you. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, handing over the floor now to Kristen Morgan. Welcome, Kristen. Your first semester in senior college.
Yes, this is my first semester in senior college. I have been a part-time instructor at BSU I'm going into my 5th semester, 22 years in literacy education. And the course that I will be sharing with you is called Writing Your Memoir. And so we're going to be looking at small vignettes from different memoirists. And the real drive of the course is to take the ordinary moments of our lives and turn them into beautifully extraordinary pieces of writing. And so we will be writing mini memoirs and series of those while also examining memoirist techniques and imitating some of them. I really look forward to seeing some of you in November when my course starts.
Kristen, I'm so excited. I know this is a topic of great interest to our members. I would encourage people to check it out. We're so happy to have you as with all your expertise in this course. And I think it promises to be a very popular course. And we hope you enjoy your experience in senior college and then come back in the future. So welcome. It was great to see you. Okay, now we're handing it over to Bill. Bill Brennan, welcome. Good to see you, Bill.
Hey, Jennifer, good morning. Good morning, everyone. Again, my name is Bill Brennan. I am currently a part-time instructor in the MBA program at BSU. I've been teaching at BSU since 2007 in adjunct and full-time roles. The majority of my background is in the corporate world in human resources and labor relations. So when the email came out from Jennifer about this opportunity, I really jumped at it. I've had this idea for a course for, I would say, many years, and it deals with generational tendencies and personality traits. So we're going to take a look at all generations that we may still interact with, including the greatest, silent baby boomers, Gen X, the millennials, Gen Y, same thing, and then Gen Z. And there are unique tendencies for each generation based on oftentimes historical events, the economy, innovations, science, historical figures. So we're going to take a deep dive into that. But maybe one of the more interesting aspects of the course is we're going to take a look at several personality trait assessment tools, of which I'm very familiar with from my corporate days. So we're going to actually take a look at Dale Carnegie. You may be familiar with Dale Carnegie. There's a terrific program they have with communication and personality types. we're going to take a look at the Gallup organization called the Clifton Strengths Finder. Again, I have experience with both of these. Third, we're going to take a look at the MBTI Myers-Briggs. We're going to take a look at DISC, and we're going to take a look at two more organizations, more in a brief, it's only 6 weeks. I wish it was longer sometimes, but the Johnson O'Connor Research Foundation measures not just personality traits, but aptitudes. Aptitudes can be empirically measured. We'll take a look at that. And then also Development Dimensions International, which is the world's largest HR consulting firm, of which I have a certification. So the course will end with, what's the impact of generational tendencies and personality traits really on your communication with family members and friends? And as we all know, the generations do have some differences. We raised 2 great millennials, but sometimes they look at me and say, what? And I look at them and say the same thing. What do you mean? So that's the intent of the course. And again, I'm really looking forward to teaching this and working with the BSU Senior College. Thank you.
Bill, thank you so much. I'm super excited for this course. This is a topic that I'm super interested in. As a lot of you know, I turned 50 this year, and I feel like it was like a light switch where I'm just like, in my day, like I literally turned into that person. But at the same time, I feel the exact same as I did when I was 22 years old. So it's an interesting conundrum as we age and we look at how we relate to different generations. In the workplace, you know, for me, or in my personal life with my father, who's in his late 80s. So I really appreciate that. And Kara and I both have taken the Clifton Strengths test assessment, and we use our strengths in our work. So super exciting. Thank you so much, Bill, for your engagement. I appreciate you being part of our community here. Okay, so now we're handing it over to Andrea, one of our longtime senior college instructors. It's great to see you, Andrea. You have the floor.
Same to you. It's good to see you. And actually, I'll take a little segue into the age thing. I teach origami, and I'm doing a class focused on flower designs. I find people like sort of growing with the folding. So I have and one of the things about origami is learning something new is one of the best ways to keep your brain flexible and active and healthy. So origami also has a component of mindfulness in it, in that it you have to be focused on what you're doing. And taking for example, I'm going to give you give you a vision of what it would be like to learn origami. This would be what you'd be looking at after our initial hello. You can see everything I'm doing with my hands. We're starting with some fairly basic flowers that are traditional and a little bit unique. And over time, depending on the group, we'll expand. I will adjust the difficulty level based on how the group is doing. So I can tell you that we're going to start with these models, but I can't tell you where we're exactly going because that will depend on the group. And of course, along the way, you will not only create these models, but you'll also learn enough origami to be able to continue learning more. I choose them so that we are learning something new with every model. So give it a try if you've ever thought about it. This is a great chance to give it a try. And my class starts on October 2, and I hope to see you there.
Andrea, thank you so much. You've been with us, I think, just about from the beginning of our program, probably 4 or 5 years now, and we're thrilled to have you. And we know that you have a loyal following amongst our membership, but I would encourage people to also check it out if they haven't before. It's a really fun activity, and I know that people in your course tend to develop a nice sense of kinship with each other too, which is really nice. So thank you so much. Okay, up next, I'm going to hand it over the floor to Cheryl Jones. Welcome, Cheryl. This is your first semester in senior college.
Yes, I'm so grateful to be here and honored to be part of this teaching team, and super excited about this topic. It's meant a lot in my own life, and so I'll be facilitating mindfulness practices for optimal physical health and well-being. And the first thing we're going to tackle is, what is mindfulness really? It's one of those terms that's gotten a lot of traction and popularity. It's been widely researched, but what does it really mean, and how can it help us to age optimally? And what does optimal aging mean for you? And so part of that is going to include trying a variety of mindfulness meditations. And so my background and training is through Jon Kabat-Zinn's program, UMass mindfulness-based stress reduction program. So those are the meditations that I'm going to introduce. And then we're going to unpack that and talk about, how does developing a mindfulness meditation practice help us to grow in whichever area of wellness is most important to you. You know, some people are very focused on stress reduction and calming the busy, sometimes worrisome mind. Others really want to focus on communication and strengthening relationships. Musculoskeletal pain, particularly in this part of our lives, is a reality for so many people. So how do we manage and befriend the body that we have, and live with greater ease and a sense of well-being? So I'm super excited to be teaching this. It'll be on Tuesday afternoons from 2 to 3:20 p.m. This isn't my first rodeo. I've been teaching some form or practice of wellness for 39 years. So again, I'm really excited to be part of this team and to bring mindfulness to all of our participants. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Cheryl. It's great to see you. This is your first semester in senior college. I think you will find it to be an incredibly rewarding experience. Our members are just lovely and super curious. And years ago, we had our first mindfulness course. We've had a few, and we have actually another one this semester, which we'll talk about in a few moments. But I thought, like, oh, I didn't think it would be popular, and we had like 50 people in the class. So I know it's a topic that is of great interest to our members. So that's why we're offering more and more courses that relate to health and wellness and mindfulness. And we have a yoga class and all sorts of great things. So thanks for being here. I know you have to run, so I appreciate your time today. And sorry, I inadvertently kind of got out of order, because I know Cheryl had a hard exit. So we're handing it over now to Ellen. Welcome, Ellen. This is your first semester teaching in senior college, but not your first experience in senior college. Welcome.
Thanks, Jen. Yes, I'm Ellen Snowinbus. I'm a retired library director from West Bridgewater. I live in Halifax, actually. And I've spent 25 years in the library field doing discussions of various topics with teens and adults, and have just really enjoyed going into a deep dive into a topic. And my topic for this semester is going to be joy. Joy is having a moment right now, and there are many books on the subject. What we're going to be doing in my class is to explore sort of chronologically essays and book excerpts, and then discussions, starting all the way back with Michel Montaigne, who was a French philosopher back in the 1500s, actually, in southwestern France. And he kind of revolutionized the concept of the essay. And so I thought essays would be a great use of our time in senior college, because they tend to be shorter, and yet they're very pithy. What we'll be doing is I'll be giving a little bit of a lecture on the author And then we'll be doing the little, I'll be sending out readings. We're also going to be using some multimedia sources because there are some great interviews with the authors and biographers, which we'll be using as well to explore finding joy. Joy is a topic that, is important to all of our lives. And some of our sources are going to be discussing the relationship between joy and grief, joy and resistance, joy and difficult situations such as living on death row or living in a concentration camp. How does one find joy in those circumstances, as well as joy in a garden and watching things grow? I run a monthly literary walk in the Tidmarsh Audubon Sanctuary in Plymouth, which is also literary based. So that's been fun. And I've been using my specific skills in that to bring to the senior college experience. So I hope people will find it as enjoyable as I have. And the topic seems to be having a moment now, as I said. It's really been fun to do a deep dive into this subject. So I welcome everybody to my course.
Ellen, I don't know about everybody else, but you all are making it so hard. I know right now everyone's emailing Kara saying like, how do I add a course? How do I add a course? Your course sounds absolutely beautiful. It sounds like exactly what we all need right now, given the state of the world and the socio-political climate that we're all living in within every day. So I'm so thrilled. Please keep us posted too on your walks at the Tidmarsh Audubon. We've had a birding class in the past and we've done our field trip in that location.
Oh, right.
Many of our members have been there before, and we would love to know more about that if you're willing to share to our
absolutely.
audience.
Yeah, that's just a show up kind of thing.
Oh, we would love that. So
Yeah,
share it with
I'll send you-
Kara, and then maybe we can share it with our members. I'm sure they would really
Absolutely.
appreciate that.
I just wanted to say one more thing, which is that this is not really a self-help class or a pop psychology class. It's really our literary deep dive.
Yes, I love that. Thank you for that clarification. I think
Sure.
that's important to, know that you'll be exploring joy through the, through the writings of great authors. So,
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm so wonderful. Okay, so next up we have Sandra. Welcome back. Sandra's been with us for a very long time and is one of our most popular instructors. The thing that I always get from our participants regarding Sandra is how incredibly prepared she is in her lectures and the great amount of time and detail that she puts into them and the expertise that she has on her topics that she presents, and then her willingness to always go the extra mile. If someone asks her like the most obscure question, she will go down a really deep dive to find the answer to those questions, and an incredibly dedicated faculty member. And we're so glad that you're back, Sandra, and I'll let you have the floor to talk about your course.
Thank you. So I'm Sandra Mondakowski Temple, and I am a instructor at Boston University for the prison education program. I have taught in the Massachusetts prison system for a number of years. So for my course, we're going to be going from joy to a passion for liberty and democracy. You can see in my background, the American colonists demolishing a statue of King George. So starting on September 13th, on Friday afternoons at 2 o'clock, on Zoom, we will be spending 6 weeks running with the Sons of Liberty. And if you didn't know it, there were also Daughters of Liberty. We will be talking about what drove the colonists to go from loyal British subjects to feeling themselves as American and separate from Britain, and all the events that led to that. Probably all of you are familiar from high school, from the Boston Massacre and the Boston Tea Party, but there was so much more before that, starting in the year 1763, which we'll be spending some time on. A number of important events, the Treaty of Paris, the War Under Heaven, the Proclamation of 1763, which forbade the colonists from crossing the Appalachian Mountains. And all this led to the colonists feeling like an old Bugs Bunny cartoon. I hope you know this means war. So I'll see some of you, I hope, starting in September.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Sandra. Okay, now it's already gone out of my head. Oh, up next is Robert, and then Penny. Welcome, Robert. Good to see you. Just make sure you unmute yourself.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for the introduction. And I'm Bob Santulli. I'm a retired doctor. I was head of the Memory Disorders Clinic at Dartmouth-Hitchcock in New Hampshire while I was still in practice. And this is my second time teaching at BSU. I taught last fall a course on Alzheimer's disease and other dementias in Plymouth, and I'll be teaching this year in Plymouth, beginning in late October, I think October 24th, a course called Keeping Your Mind Sharp as You Age. There's a number of things people can do, we can all do, to maximize our memory and thinking as we grow older. And we'll review these activities in the course and consider the science behind them, because there's also an awful lot that's out there on the internet that's not very scientific or valid. We'll start by talking about a normal aging in normal cognition in aging, and some of the changes that inevitably occur for all of us as we get older, and how we differentiate those from some more serious mental concerns. We'll then examine the role of general health, exercise, diet, intellectual engagement, learning something new, as Andrea talked about before, social connections, other activities, and that may be associated with good mental functioning throughout life. And again, I'll show some of the data that supports this. We'll spend a session or part of a session reviewing mnemonics and other cognitive exercises that people can do. We'll go over some of those things in class to help with remembering. And we'll consider whether any of these activities or all of these activities might help prevent or delay the development of Alzheimer's disease or other serious cognitive disorders, and look again at some of the evidence for that. Throughout the course, I'll be giving presentations with PowerPoint, but throughout I'll be encouraging lots of interaction, questions, discussion, and so forth. So I hope that people who are willing to track down to Plymouth will consider taking this course in the fall. I may offer it on Zoom later in the year. I haven't decided about that, and I'll talk to all of you about that, or talk to Jennifer at least about that at some point soon. But for now, beginning I think October 24th, for 6 weeks, we'll be offering this course at the Senior Center in Plymouth. So I do hope to see some of you then. Thanks.
Thanks so much, Bob. I appreciate that. And we're so thrilled to have you back. I was hoping to have you every semester because your first course was so highly evaluated by all of our members. So thank you for coming back. And yeah, I'll give a sort of a general plug to Plymouth in general. I'm always surprised at how far people are willing to go to Plymouth. I meet people there all the time that are from, half hour away. And so I would encourage you, if you maybe don't live nearby, but you want to take a course in Plymouth, like maybe do it with a friend and you could, share the driving, if that's of interest to you. And it's just such a great location. Fall is such a beautiful time of year. It's nice to get out, go have a lobster roll, or maybe a hot dog down at the waterfront when you're done. A couple semesters ago, we had 2 gentlemen take a class, and they had gone to UMass Dartmouth together like 40 years before that. And one lived on the South Shore, one lived on the Cape, and they met in Plymouth to take a class together. And then after, they would go out to lunch. So you can, make a day of it. I think it's a great, in that the Center for Active Living is beautiful. It's actually a really beautiful, large facility, and it's very comfortable. So that was a good note. Thank you so much, Bob. And I'll definitely talk to you soon and see you soon in Plymouth. Okay, up next, I'd like to hand the floor over to Penny, who's been with Senior College for a long time as a member and as a booster, but is joining us this semester for the first time as a facilitator of a course. So welcome, Penny. You have the floor.
Yes, I'm so excited to be with you all. And I have been supporting the Senior College since its beginning. During COVID, it was my salvation from being isolated. I have a master's in public health research from Boston University School of Medicine. At that time, the School of Medicine and the School of Public Health were one. And also, I've attended 3 summers at Tufts University Epidemiology Institute, studying with physicians and researchers and ministers of commerce from all over the world, looking at public health issues back in the 1980s and 1990s. Then I took the course with Herbert Benson on the relaxation response. And that was the beginning of learning about relaxation and a different type of meditation. So when COVID hit and I was alone, I found the Senior College, and I was just thrilled with Laura DeSimone's leading of our mindfulness. So much. So I got curious and studied at Brown University, and I'm now a level 1 teacher of mindfulness, trained at Brown University. And I am very excited to bring mindfulness, John Kabat-Zinn's mindfulness-based stress reduction, just as Cheryl Jones had mentioned, right into the lunchtime, midday mindful moments over at the library. So bring your lunch or bring your time, and let's share together about the innate abilities that John Kabat-Zinn was talking about. Inside each one of us is mindful wisdom. And if we can learn how to pause and step out, learn how to focus, watch how the neuroplasticity in our own lives recreates a new way to look at our own relationship to stress, to pain, to suffering, to uncertainty. We have 6 weeks, and I broke it down into 3 different sessions. It moves from October 22nd for 2 weeks. Then it moves into November during Thanksgiving, and we'll study gratitude and things that are uncomfortable and unpleasant. And then we'll move into December. December, when we'll find the peace within us and how we can incorporate it into the stress and excitement of holidays, isolation, and grieving, and joy. So I invite all of you to take a pause, come over to the library, sit down for a few moments and share your personal stories. Each day that we have it, I will give a meditation theme, and then we'll share how we've experienced it in our lives. Thank you so much. At 73, I can't believe I'm doing this. I'm so excited.
Thank you, Penny. Wow. Well, you've always, to me, you have such a soothing way about you. So you are perfectly suited to be offering this course, especially with the recent education that you've sought out. And I applaud you, that you are truly embodying what it means to be a lifelong learner, and then to share in this community what you have learned through the process of becoming certified at Brown in mindfulness. So thank you so much. We look forward to your class in person. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. And last, but certainly not least, although we do have one faculty member that might be jumping on right in the next few minutes, but he's not here yet. So Ron Reynolds, it is so good to see you. I am welcoming you and handing you the floor to tell us what your plans are for us this semester. Uh-oh, Ron, you have to adjust your audio. I can see him working on it. Still can't hear you. I know he always has like a little tricky thing with the headset. So it looks like he's working on that.
Any luck yet?
Yes, yes, we can hear you now.
Okay. I've been having trouble today. I had trouble getting my video on screen until probably 5 or 10 minutes ago. I still don't know how I got it back. And it's good to be with you again. I see a few familiar faces out there. And in addition, I've looked at the list of participants and I saw a few familiar names. Jen, I wish I also felt the same as I did when I was 22. I would like that. In my mind, I'm still a young guy, but my body says I'm living in fantasy land. But in any event, I have 2 courses coming up this semester. And the first class in the early fall is going to be dealing with photography. I chose that because fall is such a pretty time with the foliage. And what I'm going to be doing is teaching a class. In fact, we'll be teaching one another on how to get better pictures. Most of us at our age love to get pictures of grandchildren and family events. When we travel, it's nice to take nice travel photos and relive those wonderful moments while we're away. And I want to teach people how to take better pictures out of the camera, but even then, improve them perhaps by the so-called digital darkroom, that is processing with a program like, say, Photoshop Elements, which is something I use. And you can sometimes take a good picture and make it outstanding just by adjusting things. I'm designing this so that people who haven't taken the previous courses, because this is a sequel, so that new people can come in and pick it right up. And it's also going to be for people who've taken the class before and want to go even further. What I'm going to do during the first week or so is talk about and show what makes a good picture. Then what I'm going to ask people to do, if they would please, is to go out and take pictures. Use your camera or your smartphone, whatever you want. This isn't geared only to people who use cameras. And what I want you to do is go out and take the best pictures you can, and then email them to me. And during the class, we'll go over those pictures and critique them. Constructive criticism, I'm hoping. That's what we've gotten before. And we can look at the pictures and point out what's good about it, what things might be improved. And then in many cases, I might take the picture and run it through Photoshop Elements while people are watching and show how you can make it stunning. So it's designed both for beginners and experienced people. It's not geared only to cameras. It's whatever photographic device you use. And hopefully by the end of the class, you'll know how to take better pictures and make them even better if you've been good to start with. I had some people last spring who I almost wondered why they were taking the class, because they had such great pictures. But even then, we figured out how to make them better. So we'll be working as a group. There's a group interaction each week. We'll critique the pictures. I'll do a lot of the talking, but I'm going to ask for a lot of input from you. So this will go on for 6 weeks. And by the way, this class and my other class I'm going to speak of in a minute is going to be on Friday mornings. The second class is going to be essentially an introduction to astronomy. One of my first classes I want to teach on the earth sciences. And what I want to do is not focus on constellations. I've never been particularly interested in looking up in the sky and seeing Taurus and all of these things people imagine are up there. I think you look up in there, you can see anything you want if you go off into La La Land. And I'm just not much interested in that. What I'm interested in is what's going on. Why are things behaving the way they do? So we'll start out looking at the early cultures, the Anasazi Indians, for example, how they looked to the sky so they knew when it was time to plant. Or in some cases, people knew when it was time to move to the spring pastures and all, because there would be bison there ready to slaughter and eat. And then I want to move up to modern thought. What we now know about the heavens from the space age, and look at the particular way in which things are moving. Because as you know, the planets revolve around the sun. We all believe that today. And I want to look at how they move around the sun. They don't move around in circles. They move in elliptical orbits. Why do they do that? How do their speeds compare? I want to look at motions in the heavens and understand them. And also what makes for night and day and the changes in the seasons. And that too, we'll meet on Friday mornings early. Friday mornings seem to have worked out well for me, and it works out well in my non-social life. My social life is these days is seeing physicians. All right, thank you. Hope to see a lot of you then.
Thank you so much, Ron. We're thrilled to have you back. You've offered many courses. They're always incredibly popular. We love that you teach on Friday mornings, because every other faculty member says they want, Tuesday at 9, like literally all 60 say Tuesday at 9. So we're so appreciative when faculty are willing to teach at dates and times that are a little bit more clear for our schedule as we build it. So thank you so much. It's great to see you. Look forward to seeing you on Zoom this fall. So there's a couple of things that I want to go over before we end. We're in good shape time-wise, but I wanted to mention a couple of things. So there was 2 faculty that couldn't be here that really wanted to be, and so they recorded a plug that we've posted on our YouTube channel. And so that is Linda Steele, who's offering a course that starts in November called Finding the Writer Within, Sharing Story Through Image and Word. She's a new instructor with Senior College, so please go ahead. Kara, if you could post the link to our YouTube channel in the chat, that would be great. So watch her plug. Oh, good. John is joining us, so we'll talk to one more instructor in a minute. And then I also wanted to mention that Suzanne Buglioni, who's been with us, I think this might be her 3rd course with Senior College. She recorded a plug as well on the YouTube channel, which is called in her courses, The Societal Impact of Drugs and Addiction. So I think that will be incredibly interesting. Suzanne is an incredible educator. She teaches in a doctoral program at Johnson & Wales University, and she's just an amazing scholar and educator. So encourage you to check that course out as well. And then I wanted to promote myself because, shameless, I get the floor, so I can do that. So every once in a while, throughout history with Senior College, I always get requests for certain courses. And usually they come from my friend, Evie DeLutis, who's on this Zoom with us today. Evie, I call her my boss because she really is my boss. She is one of the probably main reasons, along with Dr. Gloria Moran, why Senior College even exists, because of the 2 of them constantly asking President Fred Clark to offer this kind of program for many years. It finally landed on my plate a number of years ago. So Evie has been asking me for years to have a course that would focus on world religions. And I have doggedly tried to get this course to come to fruition. And the instructors that we have here on our campus are amazing, but they just don't have the time. They are incredibly busy people being pulled in a million directions. So we did finally found a course, a person to lead that course. His name is Nate, and he is offering a course called Exploring World Religions, Origins, Beliefs, and Practices. He couldn't be here today. He is a professor, I believe, of religion or world religion at Stonehill College, incredibly experienced. I met with him via Zoom. He seems really good. So I would encourage you to check out that course alongside, and I'm sure Evie is enrolled, so you can meet her in that course. And then the other one that I wanted to talk about was for years, people have been asking for a math course. And I know that seems maybe a little kind of like who would want to take a math course, but people have been asking for years. And I know that I was involved a number of years ago before I even was here at Bridgewater with a lifelong learning program. And the math course was one of our most popular courses. And so I'm so thrilled to be offering that course. Again, the instructor couldn't be here today, but she seems amazing. And the course is called Reconnecting with Math, Embracing the Productive Struggle. And we all know the benefits of this kind of activity to our brain health. So I would encourage you to check this out. This instructor, her name is Chantal Casa, and she seems really great. That's offered on Zoom. It starts Tuesday, October 1st. So look for that as well. So I just wanted to give those courses a plug because I'm proud that I finally found a math and a religion class. And Professor Krasanik is back, of course. He's offering a course on the election at the Bridgewater Public Library. And he's kind enough to also be offering 2 Zoom sessions after the election, because I would imagine we would all be wanting to react to the night and the day and the events that unfold in the aftermath of the election. So definitely look for that. It'll be in person at the Bridgewater Public Library. But I see that John Winters has joined us. John, we did so good for time that you are the final faculty member. If you'd like to go ahead and have the floor, you can talk briefly about yourself and the courses that you'll be offering with us this semester.
Oh, sure. I'm glad to. Hello, everyone. I see some familiar faces here.
You do know your camera's not on, and that's okay if it can't be on.
Yeah. We just moved to Lincoln, Rhode Island.
fine.
So
Okay,
in
go ahead.
chaos. And I look a wreck. Anyways, so I'm offering, I believe, 2 courses this coming semester. One is an 8-week course where we look at Shakespeare. And speaking of the political season, Shakespeare on Power. We're going to read and discuss, dig deep into 3 plays, beginning with Julius Caesar, a play that I find endlessly entertaining and informative, especially in these days. And we'll do 2 weeks on Julius Caesar. And then we're going to start getting into the heavy hitters with Hamlet and King Lear. Now, I'm not a Shakespearean scholar, but I think that's good because these really are discussion groups. I lead them, I facilitate them, and certainly I've read these plays and seen them many times and read deeply about each of them. But my job is to bring out your thoughts and give you a reason to want to dig deeply into these plays and to bring out your own ideas. I'll offer some of mine, and to kind of to treat them as texts that we read and enjoy, and not have to treat them as homework. I hope we can find the fun in these plays and the insights. And we can revel in the amazing language that, knocks me off my chair just about any time I crack one of his plays. So that's the first one. That's going to be 8 weeks, if I'm not mistaken. Probably either do 3 on Hamlet and 3 on King Lear, or maybe we'll do 2 on Hamlet and 4 on King Lear. We'll talk about that, and I'll get a better sense before we start on September 6th, I believe. And the second course, I believe, is further looking into old drama, the oldest we know of. It would be, Jen, can you remind me, is it the Sophocles plays?
Give me 1 minute. I'm trying to find it myself as you were talking. And let's see, John Winters.
I'm sorry, this is Jan. Yes, it is, because I really, really wanted to explore those. So yeah,
Right.
mostly because it includes the Antigone at the end.
Yep, great.
So yeah, so thank you. I'm sorry for interrupting, but I just
Oh, no, thank you.
sure.
A lot of the classes I teach nowadays are actually recommended by students. So I love that. But I've been a fan of the ancient Greeks for decades, spent many a summer studying them. And again, not an expert at all, but I do have a good understanding of the origin of drama, and especially these early plays of Sophocles, Oedipus Rex, Antigone, and Oedipus at Colonus. Oedipus Rex, very famous, of course, one of the most famous of the ancient Greek plays. Antigone, I should back up. A lot of the plays back then in the time of the ancient Greeks were written as trilogies. Unfortunately, we've lost so many of these texts that we have a lot of standalone plays, but we have an existing trilogy here, and it's brilliant, and it begins with Oedipus Rex, and it is followed by Antigone, and we close with Oedipus at Colonus, probably the one that is least familiar, but it is deeply moving, as Oedipus, blind now and exiled, is led by one of his daughters as he's trying to find basically a place to die and a place where he can come to rest and be buried. Very much all important stuff in not only our society, but very important in the Greek society. So we're going to do the same with those, where there are discussions, and I hope that we'll uncover themes and ideas. I know every class I teach here or in a regular classroom, a traditional classroom, the students give me more ideas, and every time I learn more and more and more and get more insights from those of you here on my screens. They're held Fridays at noontime, we do them. And we may look at also a book by Stephen Greenblatt called Tyrant. It's a pretty short book. Well, and there's a chapter on each of these and all of the history plays of Shakespeare. So we may dip into that too for some guidance. But these are great works, and I really can't wait to share them with what I always find to be an intelligent and eager audience here at Senior College.
Thank you so much, John. Yes, I put the information about that class in the chat. It starts Friday, November 1st. It's called Top Shelf 2, Reading, Discussing, etc. And then it has all the names there. Yeah, so thank you so much. Welcome back. You have been a very important part of our senior college curriculum over the years, and I know you have a very loyal following, people that just take all of your classes no matter what the topic is. So that should give any new folks a sense of when a faculty member is really beloved in our community. So thank you so much for being back. So, okay, I think we're kind of getting down to the end. If anyone has a question, you're welcome to pop it in the chat or even unmute yourself to offer the question verbally to all the faculty. Let's give them a round of applause. They volunteered their time to be here today. And for those that stayed, I appreciate it and hope you found something of interest to yourselves too. And maybe we'll see you in a class as well, in addition to the one that you're teaching. I see Ellen's thumbs up. Love that. And so if anyone has a question, I'm here to answer it. But if not, we can always answer your questions that you might have online. We encourage you to join if you haven't already. Now would be the time so you can get your schedule in order and get all ready and, get your notebook and your, print your quick glance and mark up your calendar as you need to keep yourself organized. That's the biggest complaint I get a lot is it's hard to keep myself organized. And it's, we have to think about biting off what we can chew in terms of classes. I know, I think I would take every single class. Like I genuinely get so excited about the content in these courses and wish that I had more time myself to enroll in the classes. But I'm thrilled that we have such an interesting and diverse slate to offer you this semester. And look forward to seeing you in the fall. So join early and join often. Looking to see if there's anything. I see some thank yous. The Zoom codes are available to members on the members only website. So you'll get that if you're a member of Senior College. Though we're still working on them. Linda's working on them behind the scenes. The form is there, but the actual codes aren't populated yet, but they will be by the time the classes start in September. All right. Thanks, Kara, for all your work behind the scenes. I appreciate it. And to everyone, have a great day. I'll see you in a few weeks. Come to that session we're having on Zoom if you need any help with Zooming.
Thanks, Jen.
Thank you,
Thanks, Jen.
everyone. Good to see you.
Thank you.